of Highschool. Literally one of the most overhyped anime I've seen in a while. And look man, we can sit here talking all day about how this show hasn't quite met my expectations in a lot of areas. But screw that, because the one area where this show has surpassed my expectations like no other is those goddamned fight scenes. The fight scenes in this anime are just plain excellent. So today, let's take some time to just fawn over how amazing they are in God of Highschool. So storytelling is definitely not what this show is about, and they make that pretty clear in episode 1. They just kind of gloss over everything that's going on and throw these dudes straight into a battle royale. Which, by the way, major props. Like right out of the gate, the show basically runs through each of the main characters' techniques. From a calm and collected technique focused on style, from a grappling-based style, to just whacking around a freaking baseball bat. The show just kind of quickly highlights all the important character styles in this scene, and it really shows why this show is going to be so cool. Because to be honest with you guys, I don't know who the OP characters are yet. All their styles are so vastly different, so I have no clue who is actually stronger than the rest. I mean, obviously we have the main 3 characters who are going to be stronger, but that's just because we know that they are the main characters. Strictly from technique alone, I just don't know, and that's kind of freaking cool. I also really enjoy how each of the hits come off in this show. You can tell which hits are focused on power, which hits are focused on speed, and which hits are focused on placement. For instance, this guy's technique is pretty clearly focused on power, whereas this girl's technique is primarily focused on speed. They never actually explain this to you, but you can tell through the animation, the sound of the hits, and how they take on their opponents. This is actually some pretty basic stuff for fighting animation, but you'd be surprised how many shows just don't follow these rules. So I think the first major fight where we get to see 2 styles collide is in this match, against 2 characters whose names I've yet to bother remembering. But this is actually one of my favorite fight scenes in the anime. The 2 characters have vastly different styles. One is heavily focused on his technique, while the other is heavily focused on fighting with any means necessary, including hitting under the belt and swapping techniques and styles. And that's actually what ends up winning him the match. However, we do also see that there's a clear difference in power between the 2 as he basically gets his ass kicked with one hand behind the other guy's back. Sure, this dude fights dirty, but we see the advantage of being able to adapt one's style. He's able to counter this dude's ultimate technique with relative ease. And the cool thing is about this whole fight is that at no point did I really ever know who was going to win. This was like a real fight, and it was actually pretty exhilarating to watch. And I think that's another really great technique that a lot of other shows should really try to implement. Make it so that the fights aren't stupidly predictable. Sure, it's cool to put your main character in a life or death situation, but if you do that, you know that they have to win somehow, and so does the audience. Therefore, we lose a bit of that drama. This show, if they lose, it's not a big deal. They don't get killed off, they just get kicked out of the tournament for this year. And I'm gonna take a bet and call this a bit early. I'm betting eventually all of the main cast is going to lose a match. It definitely seems like some shit is going down in the background of this entire event, and my bet is that the show is going to run away with that plot hook. Oh, and can we please talk about the amazing male characters of this show? Thankfully, for the first time in a while, we have some distinctive male characters in an anime. Now, I know that may sound weird to a lot of you, but come on. A lot of shows, the only distinctive male character is the main character. And hell, even sometimes that's not the case. Literally everyone else is just generic as all hell. So to see that a lot of the cast is cosplayable is a godsend. Like legit, the second I saw this dude, I was like, if my fat ass ever gets into shape, I'm cosplaying him. Granted, after that ass beating from last episode, maybe not, but there are other choices for characters to cosplay as, and that's great. I'm sorry man, it's just that the pool of guys to cosplay as is so slim unless you're willing to cosplay from shoujo anime. So it's really nice when an anime comes along to add to that pool. Also, the sound design of this anime is another thing I have to bring up. I did briefly mention it when I was talking about the hits, but I feel like now's a good time to go into depth with it. I love how each of the different hits have a unique sound effect to them. Speed and power are obviously two different sounding hits, but what I like is that hits that are focused on placement or technique also have a different, like, high-pitched sound to them. And then there are hits that are pretty brutal and they add a bit of a bludgeoning sound effect to them. I know it's a weird thing to nitpick, but I just really enjoy that sort of attention to detail. It's pretty weird. I think it's the first time I've ever used the word nitpicking in a positive manner. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I really do have mixed feelings about the rest of this show. God, their ears and noses are just so ugly. I had to say it, man. I can't be the only one suffering from this, okay? Not to mention, the story and the main characters are just bland as hell. But at the end of the day, this is a fighting anime, and you know what? They do a damned good job with their fight scenes. Thank you guys for watching. Hey guys, what's up? Just a quick heads up, I'm actually starting a brand new series, not on this channel, but on twitch.tv/ManimeMatt. I'm going to be doing a new interview series where we bring on guests and we talk about anime, life, and all kinds of other shit. It's gonna be called Let's Talk Manime, and my very first guest ever will be my close friend, MudanTV. Some of you may know him from his YouTube channel, but he's also pretty famous for being the editors of Aki Dearest, Joey the Anime Man, Sea-Dog VA, I think he even does Nuxtaku sometimes. So he's kind of a big deal, he's a good friend, and he's gonna be the first guest on this show, and I'm really excited. So if you guys wanna come on and watch it, it'll be live on twitch.tv/ManimeMatt, Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific time. I'll have the details in the description. Either way, a huge thank you to my patrons, you guys are my heroes. This is Manime Matt, make sure you guys say man and go watch that goddamned anime!